I am the Nurse Flipper. If this is your first time here, welcome. Thank you for coming. I mainly do what's sold on eBay videos and also some thrift haul and thrift with me videos. But today what I wanted to go over is common reasons why your items might not be selling on eBay. I do monthly store reviews in my membership, and a lot of the stuff is the same thing over and over again. So I thought if I made a video to kind of cover it, it might help everyone, especially if you're new. And sometimes if you're not new, you might not think of these things. So I'm going to go over 5 reasons why your items aren't selling on eBay. So let's do it. All right, so if you are new to my channel, you might be wondering, why should I listen to her? Like, what does she know that I don't know? I will tell you, I am a top-rated power seller on eBay. I have sold over $100,000 2 years in a row. Last year was $130,000 in sales, and I have been doing this off and on since 1999. This go around have been doing it about 2 years. So I do have some experience. My sales tend to stay between $10,000 and $13,000 a month. And I am doing this in addition to a full-time job. So if you don't think it's possible, it is. Definitely watch some of my other videos about like tips and tricks and why I think I make as much as I do. So first thing, and I think this is the biggest thing that a lot of people overlook, is your pictures. And you might think that pictures aren't that big of a deal, but pictures are the biggest deal. Your pictures are what presents your item to your potential buyer. If your item is thrown on a dirty background, like just sitting on a table, if there's a lot of clutter around it, it detracts from your item. So I very, very rarely use props. I would say probably 1 to 2%. And I do use background removers to remove the background and put a clean white background. I have a photo box, but that doesn't mean that my background's going to be plain white. I don't have the lighting or camera equipment to make that happen. I don't want to spend that money when I can do the same thing using an app. A few apps that I recommend that I have used are Bazaart, which is Bazaart. That is the one I am currently using. You can also use Photo Room, and there's Photo Fuse, and you can always go with the classic eBay background remover. When you're using these background removers, it is so much easier to remove a background that isn't cluttered. I won't lie, I will take some pictures if I'm trying to move really fast and get some listings up that have all kinds of stuff in the background, and Bazaart does a great job at removing them. And I 90% of the time do use a plain white background. It has been said that Google prefers a plain white background. So if your item's on eBay and somebody's searching on Google for the item, you want that picture to pop up for them in a Google search, because Google is the biggest search engine there is. And I will throw some screenshots up here on either side of me and show you the difference between a photo without the background and with the background removed and a plain white background. And you can look at them and decide which one would you buy if you were looking for that item. And I personally prefer a clean background. I want to see the item that I'm buying. And also, if you are selling multiple items, put them all in the front photo. If you're selling 4 cups, don't just show one and then your title says quantity of 4. Show the buyer exactly what they're getting. And if that's a lot of 4 cups, then show them 4 cups. Or if you're doing a lot of books, show all of the books. You want to make sure they have a clear idea of exactly what they're getting. And to that point, I also want to say you want to make sure that if your item has a flaw, if it's clothing, if it has a stain, a rip, a tear, show it in your photos and show it clearly. If it is a breakable item and it has a chip, point that out. That way you make sure that the buyer is aware. I tend to also, in my titles of items that have flaws, I will put read in capital letters in my title to draw the attention of the buyers to that description so they know that that item has a flaw and they can't get it, and then they will say, oh, well, I didn't know. Well, you know, if you're wondering what is behind me here, that is my unlisted inventory. I have gotten my shed. This is a new shed that I've got. It is a 12 by 40 shed, and this is for unlisted inventory, and it's also for my recording. This is my first video in my shed, which is super exciting. So I'm glad to be coming to you from my new shed, and hopefully soon I will start listing some of those items back. The second reason that your item might not be selling is because you have it priced too high. You also might have it priced too low. When you do comps, you want to search for the item you're looking for on eBay, and then you will filter and you will click on completed and sold. That will tell you what these items have been selling for. Some people would be fearful if this item is priced too low that something's wrong with it. So you want to make sure you're close, within like 10 to 15% of that market price, so that everyone thinks that your item is like the others that are listed. If you price it too high, they're not going to look at it. If people are like me, and I know most sellers are going to do this, the typical buyer might not, but I always filter price lowest to highest with. So I don't care if it has free shipping. I just want to know the total price with shipping and the cost of the item, which one is going to be cheapest for me to buy. And that's the one that I am going to buy, as long as it looks acceptable and that buyer has good feedback. So make sure you keep your feedback score as high as possible. When you're newer, it is hard to do if you get one negative, because you might not have that many sales. Try and do everything you can to work with your buyer and make sure that your buyer is happy. As far as pricing to, I'm in my computer chair here that I am not too used to. Before you list an item that has no comps, I use worthpoint.com, and I will typically, if they're unlisted, I will price higher than the highest one has sold. And I always have best offer on. That is a personal choice. And if you tend to price on the higher end, I would recommend putting on best offers so that you are able to accept offers. And if you keep getting offers that are really low, that might tell you that your pricing is too up. Next is your title. Picture, title go hand in hand. If your title doesn't look good, why would they click it? They have no reason to. So if you, and I'll use my boxes back here as an example. So if I just put banker's box and that's it, then I'm going to pop up with thousands of other banker's boxes. But if I put purple, floral, decorative banker's box, then I've got a little more chance of being found. And these I bought in sets of 2. I did buy them off of eBay, and I did look for decorative banker's box. That is exactly what I searched for. So you have 80 characters in your title, use them. This, like, just as an example, using my banker's boxes, because that's just what I see right now. You could also put like college, you could put dorm, you could put school, you could put teacher. Use every single character that you were given, because what if somebody was searching for teacher boxes? Then they would find those boxes. And if you're not using that, you're essentially just giving away free space that you have to sell your item. So don't do that. Use every single character that you have available to you with any little thing you think might sell your item. I do recommend putting like size, color, the brand, all of your main core stuff should go first. And then at the end, I fill it up with keywords that people might search for, and my titles might not necessarily make sense, but they are found, and that is what is important. Next is kind of a touchy subject, and that's shipping. So if your shipping cost is too high, then your buyer might purchase it from someone else who is charging less for shipping. Not necessarily free, but less. And there are several reasons that your shipping might be high. One of them is that you calculated incorrectly. I personally do not box stuff up. I do not recommend doing that unless you only have a handful of items and you have the space. For me, I just do not have the room to pre-box items. However, I know about how much a box weighs. I do weigh the item. And one of the main things is if your item is over 12 by 12 by 12, you want to charge shipping exactly in or really close to what box size you might use, because oversized shipping is expensive. So when you are listing it, if you just guess and you say this item weighs 4 pounds and it really weighs 2, that buyer is going to see a shipping cost that is probably $10 to $20 higher than what it's going to cost you. So you need to make sure you have a good shipping scale. I do have one listed down in the description below, as well as some other shipping supplies if you are looking for different types of shipping supplies. So make sure you have a scale, make sure you weigh it, and the box size is not important unless it is going to go over 12 by 12 by 12, and then you're going to get into oversized shipping. And I don't want you to lose money while you're shipping, but I want your shipping to be accurate as to what that buyer would pay. So I am in Florida, and if people in California look at my calculated rates, then shipping is going to be higher. It's probably going to be double to somebody that's in Florida or Georgia. And most of my items are heavier. Most of them are a little harder to find. So I do calculate it on most of my listings. I do have a shipping video. I'm not going to get into all of that in detail, that will go over all of the shipping supplies I use and things like that. So make sure you know pretty close how much your shipping is going to be. If you're going to do free shipping, that is fine. A lot of people have that business model. I know I have a friend Cameron who has amazing sales. He does it way better than me. His channel is Flashback Finds. He does all free shipping and it works for him. And he has, like I said, he kicks my butt in sales. So Cameron has a model that works for him. I personally don't do free shipping because I promote most of my items and I don't want to have to pay that promoted fee on my shipping cost. And if I put that shipping cost into the cost of the item and do free shipping, I would be paying an extra % on the shipping cost. Next, and this might be a little bit obvious to some of you, but to others it's not. Maybe the right buyer just hasn't found your item. If your item's not popular and very much in demand, it can take a while. It can take a couple months. Sometimes it can take a couple of years. So when you are buying, make sure you're aware of the sell-through rate. And what I mean by that is when you look on eBay, you can see how many items are listed, and then you filter and see how many items are sold. And sometimes there are more sold than there are listed, and that means the demand's high and chances of your item selling fast are pretty good. But let's say there are 5 items listed and only 1 sold. So it's not a very common item, but only one of those 5 has sold in the last 90 days. It could take a year or more for your item to sell, depending on how you price it. So, but remember, don't price too low or they might think that something is wrong with your item. And overall, you want to look at your listing, look at your title, look at your photos. I will tell you, and anyone who has been watching my channel knows, I do not do descriptions unless there is a flaw with the item. So if there is a height of something like a vase, or if there's a length for a necklace, I will put that in my title. I do not do descriptions. And the reason for that is I have all these items. I have over 2,500 items listed, and I list, when I am listing, I list 20 to 30 in a day minimum if I am off of work, and I just don't want to take the time. And I have not found that lack of descriptions has hurt me. And You could waste time on descriptions, and you could spend way too much time on writing all this stuff that people are not even going to read. Unfortunately, sometimes people don't even look at all the pictures, which is how people end up buying items with flaws that were clearly in the photos. So all of that stuff is going to happen, and you have to be patient on eBay. This does not turn into a $1,000 a month or $5,000 or $10,000 a month job, side gig, side hustle, way to make extra income overnight. And you need to be consistent with your listing to get your items up in that algorithm, which is important as well. So even if you can only list 1 or 2 items a day, that keeps your store active. It keeps your store fresh, keeps activity in your store so that eBay says, hey, they're actually doing something and I'm going to bump their listings up. If you ship on time, so make sure that your handling time is set to the fastest that you could possibly do it. And that could be another reason that your item isn't selling. If you've got 5-day handling, but your competition has 1-day handling, chances are, even if your competition's price is higher, a buyer might choose them. I personally will pay a little bit more to get an item faster. I don't mind paying for shipping, but if I will get something on Monday instead of Friday, I will pay $2 or $5 more depending on how fast I need the item. So make sure you're shipping as often as possible. And I know if it is a part-time thing and you are working a full-time job, it might not be easy to do 1-day handling time. I do luckily have my husband who helps me pack when I am working, and I am a nurse. So I only work 3 days a week. One of them is Sunday. So I only work 2 shipping days. So I'm here to do my shipping on the other. And we do 1 business day handling time. We actually ship the items out that have sold up till about noon or 1 p.m. on the same day. So always ship them out as fast as you can. And I know it's not always feasible, but if you can cut your shipping down, like maybe from 3-day to 2-day, and have a friend or neighbor, you can also schedule USPS to come out and pick your boxes up for you. If you have a safe place to leave them, that could cut down on your handling time as well. So you want to make sure that that item is going to get to the buyer as fast as they can. And people definitely do look at how long it's going to take to get an item. That is one of the first things that I personally look at when I am looking at buying something. I think that's pretty much my main tips for why your items won't sell on eBay. As I said in the beginning of the video, I do have a channel membership for $1.99. I do eBay store reviews 1 time a month, and I will look at your store individually and give personalized advice on how I feel you could improve your eBay store and hopefully gain more sales. If you follow these tips in this video, though, you're going to have a major head start over a lot of other new sellers. And it might seem very simple, but take a look at your listings after they've been made. I still find listings that my photographs weren't that great that I did 2 years ago. Always be improving, always try to do your best as far as photographs and as far as your titles so that buyers can find your items. I hope you guys found this helpful. I hope you find that your sales are increased if you start to do some of this and go back and change some of your old listings. Join my channel membership if you would like me to review your store personally. And I will see you guys on the next one. Be sure, if you're a new eBay seller, watch my What Sold videos. That helps you know what to pick up while you're out thrifting or garage sailing, and you can increase your sales that way by picking up more items. The more items you have listed, the more you are going to sell. And I wish you guys lots of sales. I appreciate you watching. Subscribe to the channel, turn on that bell notification if you would like to be notified when I put out new videos. I will see you on the next one. Bye, guys. Is mommy trying to list stuff? Are you in mommy's way?
It didn't. Mama, it didn't.
We're in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Does Mommy have her light on trying to take pictures of stuff?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you in the way?
No.
Could you get off the table, please? Yeah, the kitchen listing. Okay, say bye.